Ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we're going to kick off our coverage of the Steel Division 2 Season 2 League, whatever you want to call it, coverage this week. It's going to start off over here on Colomboles. And we're starting, I think, in the European Veteran Division, aren't we, Rang?
Yes, Europe Code S.
Looking forward to it already. So who do we have?
Well, on the left-hand side in blue, we have ourselves Robert as the first Polish Armored Division. And on the right-hand side, we have ourselves Eugene as the 9th Panzer Division.
You know, you and I just recently did a cast over here for a beautiful one-day tourney. If you haven't seen that already, definitely check out Rank's channel. I have mine up over on Twitch, going to make it to YouTube hopefully in the next couple of days. I was saying how we never see Colomboles anymore, and now here we are. It's a beautiful factory map. What are we going to expect from two mech divisions here?
So both are pretty aggressive A-phase divisions, and it's going to be rather interesting. It's whether the fact Eugene can use his Panzer IIs efficiently. It's going to be a bit harder to use Panzer IIs on this map, as it's much more open ground. There are still some knife fighty CQC areas for him to take advantage of. But, as for Eugene, Robert, I mean, he's got the Cromwell, he's got Stuart, he's got the support Cromwells with the long-range guns. And honestly, this town fight could probably go 50-50. You've got Stern Pioneers being brought in from Eugene. Well, I'm guessing Robert seems to be going full-on Strotsky spam. No motorized rifle, Polish motorized rifle, whatever, Dragoonies available for him right now.
That does seem to make a lot of sense, though. I mean, it does mean he's going to put an awful lot of stock into that Cromwell. And, well, we're off. I was going to make a comment about I'm not too sure how well this can necessarily hang on in.
Recon plane, hello.
And you know what? I actually like that play.
I like it too. I always like seeing a recon plane at the start. It can be a little bit ballsy. It's because you're just, like, not using the points to have, like, shooty units. But, you know, knowing is half the battle.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. And G.I. Joe would be all over that if that was the case.
Amen.
Yeah, isn't that, yeah, that's the G.I. Joe thing, isn't it?
Yes, G.I. Joe, yep.
All right, it's been a long time, and actually, I honestly never really watched this show. I admit I saw the movies, and I regret every single second of it.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, we are seeing a big push over here on the northern side of the canal for Herr Robert. I'm surprised by that. We make comments, first kill.
Yeah.
We make comments consistently about how that is such a... you might as well be on a different world, being on the northern side of that river.
It's so hard to, like, make a breakthrough in that northern river, as it is just very choke pointy. His Pack 38 is not going to be enough to stomp his puss, as the Cromwell is managing to get shots onto it, and there we go. But at the same time, all Eugene has after that Pack, he's not going to have a good time. But oh, never mind, he's keeping the Cromwell at bay with the Pack, but never mind, the Hurricane comes in. So... yeah, that's not good for the northern side. Town factory looking pretty good, Joe, for Eugene.
I think we're going to see a dead recon plane in a second. That motorized, quad-mounted. Yep, there he goes.
Yeah.
Is he going into the drink?
No, so close.
Getting the drink.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right. Stern Pioneers, and yes, this Strotsky spam, like you called it, not going to see anything more hefty. Is that going to go and doom our poor Polish player?
It's his northern assault for Robert. He's got ground, but he's having a hard time really exploiting it. And losing that factory in the middle is definitely a rather huge loss, as that factory is such a good defensive position to hold the rest of the map. Down south, pretty quiet, but at the same time, Eugene could maybe move up a little bit. He does have the Panzer II and Panzer Grenadier at the same time. Robert does have a 6-pounder. Richie hasn't undeployed or deployed in the southern sector.
Can we just take a moment and just have a wonderful, wonderful moment of reflection? How the Germans are actually taking the factory without giving up 95 billion lives to do it.
Well, that's because, as 9th Panzer, you got Stern Pioneers in A-phase, which are so bloody good, as usually a lot of German Panzer divisions have trouble, fighting in towns early on. 9th Panzer and 2nd Panzer as well do a pretty good job of, making town fight shares.
certainly accurate. We are going to see the anti-aircraft platform go down, so that's a bit of a
wow.
problem for that Pack 38. But that was a beautiful little shot by that 6-pounder, I believe. Yep.
I think Robert will be able to take advantage of using like the hurricane spam and A-phase. They're such good units, even just the fighter runs for strafing ground targets. And if you can just have them flying around constantly strafing the 2-5 runs, Pack 38s, Panda 2s, etc., he could really get the initiative back into his hand. As we see, 2 hurricanes in that 2-5 run, instantly stunned up, and there's not really going to be much that can stop him. Yuejin could potentially get like a rocket Messerschmitt, but yeah, it's not going to be enough against the Polish hurricane power. He's going to have to rely on anti-air to keep him at bay.
More terrifying for me is the fact that we have that command steward coming on in. Yeah, I mean, you'll lose a half-tracker too, but those stewards, we've talked about them in the last couple of days, they continue to be absolutely devastating, even in these kind of factory building situations.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty good counters to the Panther 2s at maximum range engagements, 1 kilometer in this case. But, you know, if the Panther 2s do manage getting closer, it turns more to 50-50. Panther 2 down south is about to get 6-pounded, yeah, and down he goes. But at the same time, Yuejin has to just move up. Well, as the universal carrier, which could potentially stop him if it's run lowly Bren gun. I don't know, who would win first? The Panther Grenadier getting stunned up, or the Bren gun running out of ammunition? I'd say the Bren gun would run out of ammo.
We do by just kind of laughing at both of them.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm biased by that. I do like, actually, we're going to see a mortar half-track coming on out, and I think that it's probably a soft counter to this tank push.
Yeah, the 2-star mortar half-track and A-phase on 9th Panzer is always a good call. Always a good call. And then it's going to be great to just keeping everything at bay, including the tanks.
Well, look who's positioning it too. Even better is the fact that you have to get someone in there to see it. So either you're going to counter battery like crazy, which is always a possibility.
Oh, yeah. It's Twiga.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you have to get someone in there, and that's going to be very, very difficult. It looks like the Hurricanes are going to be running out of ammunition. Yeah, one's completely Winchester, the other one's just back off of 30 rounds. And man, how devastating would that have been just to see that quad-mounted 20 mil survive? That would have been absolutely stellar.
Yeah, losing that's definitely hindered him, because now her Robert is going to be able to take advantage of having air superiority during his A phase. And even acting like B phase, so at that point, Yuejin can get some proper fighters in to try and counter, but the Poles usually just have better airplane cards in their deck.
You know, we are going to see a mortar coming on in, coming down to the south. I'm not sure I really would have invested in that without seeing that Cromwell being played more, you know, aggressively, but...
I mean, you could always reposition it to, like, the center area to try to deal with the Cromwell. The main problem is that 6-pounder, which is going to be, well, halting that mortar free from really moving too far into
exactly
open area. I mean, if he was to relocate the mortar half-track south a bit, he could knock out that 6-pounder, or just move up a Panther Grenadier or Spar Troop to just shoot it with machine guns.
Oh, well, everything you said is true, but I guess, I mean, though, you have a Pack 38 down here, so that 6-pounder is not getting brought forward by a vehicle. You have the infantry here to kind of stave everything else off. So, I mean, like, it just seems like he could have invested maybe the points a little bit better, that's all.
Yeah.
And that's just griping. Of course, we have God Vision. That was actually pointed at least out to me recently. Yeah, it's true. We have God Vision, but I still...
Hindsight's 2020.
Not investing. Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah. Maybe invading Russia wasn't such a good idea.
Yeah, Napoleon was kind of a dumb guy, wasn't he?
Yep.
251 is going to attempt to push back against the Streltsky, and the Steward, of course, will push him back in turn. Storm Pioneer. Poor guy.
Yeah, didn't get the shot off. One man too short.
One man, one shot.
Yeah.
Storm Pioneer in the meantime. Okay, guys, you feel free to start smoking them if you got them.
Are they not?
They're not even. It's not deactivated. I can tell you.
No, that's like what hell? And it's like right next to each other.
Exactly.
You could practically throw the fuel tank into the other building from that distance.
Well, we are seeing a massive buildup, at least that we hear from the Poles. Looks like they're insisting that that factory is not under control of the Germans.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the lie put to it, but I'm not sure that it will happen necessarily just yet.
I do like how Robert is actually getting some Dragoonies units. Like, he had one early on A phase, but that's really about it. But yeah, like, people, I see a lot just do Strochki spam at the pose. And yes, it works just by having that spam infantry, but the Dragoonies are really useful, and I suggest you always take, like, at least 1 or 2 cards. Just having anti-tank armed infantry around, and also a half track, definitely helps out quite a bit. Because, so, you know, Strochkis, they're just not enough. They're not... They're there to just be shot at. They don't have the substance to really do much shooting back.
All targets and no tagging?
Exactly, Raw. Dragoonies, you know, they can bite back a bit.
True. They can always do the truffle shuffle.
Yeah.
That was a 2-step joke right there. I'm not sure if anybody caught it. Goonies, wonderful movie. Thank you, Sean Astin. So I thought you were talking about it. I got confused. Yeah. Martyr 3 is taking tons of fire, but we do finally have a very plucky Focke-Wulf in the air.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not relishing his chances, though.
No, he has the speeds on the Hurricanes by quite a bit, so he can pick his engagements, but yeah, he's going to be pulling back now. And opposed to having that air unit being brought up, it's just a... I think it's just a Trenny mill. Yeah, I think it's just a Trenny. It's just a Trenny mill.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, Robert he's really playing for the town. Got quite a bit of smoke being dropped here and there, but yeah, Robert, the Strochki spam's working pretty well. He's outnumbering, and he's got Stuart and Cromwell giving flying support.
Well, like you said, he's got just enough Dragoonies to go and keep the Germans honest. They can't bring their light vehicles in to force them back.
Yeah, and we've got a little bit of push down south with the Panzer Grenadiers and Spar Troop moving up. And if he can get his mortar free in position, you know, he can probably deal with that push, but 6-pounder is about to be but at the same time, Spar Troops are coming in. They're going to be able to spot it and put some fire, but the 6-pounder is going to get fire on the mortar. So a little bit close.
Yeah, and he's only barely getting a range right now. That's like 20 meters. That's just this so killer.
Yeah, Pack 38 gonna deal with the Universe Carrier, mortar free firing back, and
that's not too stellar to watch the Martyr, assuming the Pack, take out the Universal Carrier. I mean, that's nice and all, but like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small target.
True, aim small, miss small. I've always heard.
Yep, and yeah, he's Yuejin still trying to hold on to his factory. He's got the Panzer Grenadiers being brought in once again after being forced to fall back, and Stern Pioneers in some rather sneaky positions, but it's just a lot of Strochkis, and her Roberts is taking a fantastic advantage of the air power. As I say, these Hurricanes are shot good planes.
Especially when the Germans have nothing left to really contest them.
Here we are into B phase now, and Yuejin is finally getting another anti-aircraft unit, and by God, he needs it.
That's a very, very soft way to put it. I would say that's probably the best thing he could be buying right now, even more than infantry.
Yeah, he needs AA to keep his Hurricanes at bay.
Ah, man, Scorpions everywhere, man. Scorpions everywhere. So it's been a long week at that point. That joke didn't even land. Forget it. Don't worry about that. But the Strochkis, like you said, Strochki spam has forced back the Germans from the first row of buildings, and they're contesting this 50-yard line. I am actually struck by how low ticket this game has been.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it's due to the whole, like, 52% map control rule, and both sides have been pretty back and forth. I mean, Robert managed to take a little bit up north, or Yuejin taking a little bit down south in the center, or being mostly in Eugene's favor for a little bit, but not a huge advantage compared to Robert.
Now, you and I definitely did see a little bit more of a, how do I put this delicately, more of an Escher style of battle recently, during that tournament I mentioned a little bit before.
Yeah.
What is the difference between what we were seeing there as opposed to here? How are the different commanders kind of lining their troops up uniquely, let's call it?
You mean like how deploying their units, essentially?
Why are we seeing such a different style of battlefield as opposed to before?
Because both sides really just focusing on the factory and just trying to get control of it. Because if you control the factory, you're moving from either left to right, and it's just makes it much easier, and it's such a good defensive point to hold. And both sides realize that, and they're pretty much pooling all their resources into this factory fun town.
Sounds about right. We do have a P4 being brought on in for the record. The Germans finally getting a real tank out, and they need it. It seems like every single time they bring a P2 in, the poor guy just gets wrecked in 3 seconds.
This is not good P2 map territory. It's just bits are open for you, small little lynxes. And all Focke-Wulf going in is going to be able to shoot down one of the Hurricane jets, one of 4 fighter Hurricanes out. But nope, he has Mustangs. And those Mustangs are pretty powerful.
That's true, but I was surprised by how much ground fire came up. I know I did see the 2 Flak 36s.
Oh, there's Bofors too.
No, I meant from the German side of things.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You're absolutely right. Interesting, we are seeing the Sherman OP being called on in. We don't often see this unit.
Yeah, that's an odd one. You never usually see, like, off-map artillery. It's not, like, big bada boom, railway, or naval. So seeing the Sherman one there is definitely an interesting course. It's going to be helpful in dealing with this factory fight. But, yes, definitely, I mean, it's going to be a good call in this sort of map, in this sort of territory.
Well, I think he's kind of definitely highlighted where he's looking to aim his next thrust with wherever that artillery is going to be going.
Yeah.
Now, these 3 Streltsy sitting to the south of the factory complex, are they really doing anything, or are they just there to kind of be outriders?
Yeah, pretty much there to be outriders, just hold the territory, essentially. I mean, he's going to do a nice off-map artillery barrage, but he has nothing to really follow up afterwards, which is going to be a little bit of a shame, and the off-map's it's not going to be enough to, like, wipe out units. But it will be enough to get the building.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
Yeah, maybe Russia. I mean, maybe a leader and the third Pioneer go down, but the regular Pioneer will probably hold strong. You know.
Well, that's how he does. He builds things. He doesn't give things up.
Yeah, exactly.
I do also want to point out quickly we have a Sherman 5 moving on in on the northern side of this is to match the P4s that are here.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, with the Stuarts and that Cromwell sitting in close position as well, that might be very, very bad for those P4s.
Yeah. They're a little bit outgunned. I mean, there's like 3 Allied tanks compared to Eugene's like 2. Well, I mean, you got the Panther 2, but yeah, but the Panther 2 is like a tank and a half.
No, there's a third.
Oh, okay, yes, that's another Panther 4. You're right. I do like to note Eugene is getting the Panther 4 H's, not the J's. You can't get the H's 1 per minute compared to the J's, but at the same time, the H's are pretty much, I'd say they're better call, as you really do need that turret rotation advantage that the Panther 4 H's have over the J's.
Yeah, and I think that's a very, very important distinction to make over here, too, because like you said, I mean, those J's are a little more economic, but you do give up a...
You good, Con?
Yeah, sorry about that. I had a wee bit of a temperature issue over here in the room. Oh my god, the pain train from the air.
Oh jeez. Choo-choo! Next stop, Rorschach.
Jeez, and the entire German armor thrust is blunted, but they do take a Cromwell on the way out.
Yeah, I think the Focke-Wulf is going to go down there to his Mustang.
It's going to be close.
It's going to be
close.
It's going to be
super close. No! He makes it out.
Very lucky for the Focke-Wulf, yeah. That's why you have AA, folks, and he needs to keep that Focke-Wulf alive, as Eugene doesn't have the airplane advantage.
Last artillery strike going to come on into the northern complex there. We are going to see the factory is slowly beginning to gather some scars.
Oh yeah, it's you won't be building much in there anymore.
You know, Colomb Belaise, what do the French build? That's really that important. White flags, maybe, but that's...
Oh, jeez. Jeez.
Hey, want to see the second Blindé win? I'll take that back. But to the north, those hangars be still being held by Streltsy. Streltsy, I mean, I would like to see the Germans be a teensy bit more aggressive to force a couple of surrenders. You know, for a fact, that you have some guys at least pinned down.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is possible. You might have some guys out there to kind of like bait and switch and shoot.
Yep.
But you gotta do something.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to do the slow push for the Panzer IVs. Don't want to be rushing them into the fray. Just move them up a little bit. Get some, you know, outnumber them, free to run with the Panzer IVs. But he's making some pretty good ground here. I mean, you got the Stuart, yeah, you got... Oh, a 17-pounder is going to definitely slow things down a bit, I think. But he is going to miss, and the Panzer IV is in range to shoot at the 17, and he's getting some pretty good morale hits. Oh!
You were saying?
You were saying, yeah. And, he's buggered. Too bad the mortar half-track is falling back, because that would have been the perfect target, that 17-pounder. And now there's two single Sherman and Stuart pretty much have an easier time against German armored force.
Germans in the meantime, they're bringing in... Oh, yep, here comes that rocket you were talking about before.
Yep, that rocket plane is so good. Rocket planes are always good. Get rocket planes. German ones.
Right? Ooh, there we go. Beautiful shot, actually.
That was a snipe.
Stunned.
Yep. Well, it's not stunned, it's dead.
I was stunned. Oh, but the Sherman claims another one of those P4s, and I'm back to being upset.
Yep.
Now, I'm not trying to cast too much in the way of aspersions here, but... And I realize, of course, he has some assistance. When Panzer Shreks are shooting Streltsky to pieces, that's a little bit sad.
Yeah, I know those Panzer Strike squads are almost out of MP40 ammo, so they've been doing a pretty good job. That's usually a pretty rare shot.
About, what's this over here? Ah, we have a 4.2 mortar coming in. Okay, so this guy is going to cause quite a bit of consternation down here to the south. And this might be signaling a refocus of Herr Robert over here. Yeah. Might be wrong on that.
Yeah. I mean, look, at mortar just knocked out the Pack 38. And he's getting a Firefly, so he's definitely going to be trying to do something down south.
Yeah. You can always tell when players are like, oh yeah, you know, that unit was important to my attack plans, when suddenly he's like, oh, there goes the anti-tank gun. Okay, quick, get 5 tanks, 5 tanks, go, go, go.
Push through the assailant.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but that's definitely a good call, though. Try to release some press off the factory, because even though he's been pushing hard into it, he just hasn't really managed to get much ground to Robert. So pushing down himself inside, open a new front, will definitely, you know, get Yuejin on the back foot here. And Yuejin, I mean, he does have that one mortar free, but the mortar can easily stun up at mortar free at long distance. Oh, Tiger. That's gonna ruin our plan. Yeah, we got a Tiger.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. The one of 2 Tigers that Yuejin can get in his 9th Panzer deck. And that's definitely going to be a good preemptive call-in. I mean, he doesn't know the Firefly is being brought in, but once he sees that, he's going to be happy he's got the bloody Tiger.
Assuming, of course, he doesn't just, you know, wander into the sights unnecessarily.
Yeah, you know, just getting surrounded by 6-pounders. It's not a good Tiger time.
Well, that's when the big kitty goes back in his cage.
Yeah.
So. You and I are trying to come up with different names for the different half-tracks for the Germans, but the random 251, what is that going to be? I mean, is that the house cat? We had the tabby. We had the calico.
Yeah.
Pretty sure those the 251s just have to be
251's that's like a house cat, I'd say, and like 250-1's a kitty.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Because they have claws, but they've been pretty much declawed.
Yeah. And it's German, so everything has to be like a cat for some reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, I would like having the Marta be a little more aggressive, but I can understand playing more passively here.
Yeah. I mean, there's not really much for him to shoot at Mortar.
That's also true. I was going to say, I do want to find out how interesting it'll be if he goes and is more aggressive once that Tiger gets into place.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that Tiger is definitely going to, like, stir things up in this center. I mean, the Firefly is hidden, and I think he's going to try to rate to get a good stun up on the Tiger, and move around the Firefly to try to chase it. Same time, and the Mortar 3 is covering the Tiger, so he's not completely alone. And there's stuff in front of the Tiger too, so yeah, it's actually pretty good for Yuejin, that Tiger placement.
That's true, but the stuff in front of the Tiger is usually called targets. As you can prove right there, he took out his squad of infantry already just by hitting the truck.
And if you can't kill the Tiger, you might as well just smoke it.
If I can't see it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, too bad the Shermans don't have paint rounds in this.
Kill
these heroes?
I was thinking paint rounds. I should think of the little smoke dispensers from Company of Heroes, but that's fair.
Yeah.
Always looked very, very strange. I wonder if they'll ever add that in. I'm sure there's a mod out there for that already. The different variants of the Sherman, but what have you.
The 6-pounder goes down south to the Mortar half track.
I
One
wasn't even
shot.
looking, honestly. But there's the Firefly, yep, being brought on forward. With the 6-pounder being gone, he definitely does need that anti-tank
Yeah.
immediately.
And our Firefly is going to be outgunned. I mean, he doesn't have any veterancy, he has no real support, and that's a 2-star, 3-star Tiger and 2-star Mortar free, so good luck, buddy.
Interestingly, he's going to shoot at the
Oof.
mortar instead, so...
He's gonna get out of here just barely, so that's pretty lucky at that first shot missed.
I'm not sure if the Tiger's aiming at... Yeah, he's aiming at the infantry to the north,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
I'm rather surprised that Robert hasn't like got Sextons, because that's usually such a staple of most Polish players, but he's just he's got the off-map. He's got the two like unused units that you don't really see often: the off-map artillery piece and the big-ass mortar. Because usually everyone just Sexton spams as pose.
Well, I think to a certain degree, he didn't go for that Sexton spam because he was going for all the pain in the air.
Yeah,
Those Sextons, they're not cheap.
yeah, the 150 points rather expensive, but they can pay themselves off because they're pretty much unkillable.
True, but I think,
Yeah.
like you said before, the 9th Panzer is outmatched in the air.
Yeah.
Maybe he was realizing that beforehand. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know.
And speaking of air, we got the rocket Messerschmitt once again, and 2 Focke-Wulf fighters to keep him clear. And here comes the Polish airplanes.
And ground fire
Oof.
from one side of it. I think we'll see. No, he's
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah,
The
but
question is, I don't think he's going to get out alive.
I think the Focke-Wulf's going to get the Mustang, which will be a pretty good kill. And those
Yeah.
Hurricanes are just too slow to really get into the
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
So that's a decentish trade-off. I think you can. I think at 2-star Mustangs there's a single card because you got it in B phase.
Yeah, I'm
So
pretty
actually,
sure.
that's a rather big loss for her Robert. But same time, losing the rocket plane really gimps Eugene's air-to-ground potential, because he could potentially get like one more rocket plane if he has her in his deck.
Well, Eugene knows that there's more than one Firefly on the map. One of his poor P2s just vanished in a gout of exploding oil and metal.
Yeah.
The Tiger is starting to not limp on forwards, that's unfair. He's prowling forwards.
He's prowling forward. He's on the hunt. His kitty hasn't been hurt yet. Another rocket plane. Who does have a second rocket plane, and he is going for the 17-pounder. He goes. He shoots. He misses mostly, and it hits long and it hits short. And that 17-pounders probably needs a new pair of underwear in the middle.
To be fair, the first time the 17-pounder had just gotten picked up by the half-track.
Yeah.
So I think what was going on there is that he just got super, super lucky. Because you saw the half-track got completely stunned up and the 17-pounder not so much. Had he remained, I think he would have gotten completely hammered.
Yeah. But this is going pretty good for Eugene. He's got slow plus 1 point advantage. He's got the factory under his control and a good defensive line up north with AA, Panzers, and pack guns and keeping them clear. And he's prodding a little bit down south. He's not really getting that much ground per se, but he's putting a lot of pressure with that Tiger and Mortar combo, and forcing her Robert to get Fireflies and whatnot down south. Robert is going to be repositioning his middle Firefly to the northern sector, so maybe he's going to try to do a push up north.
I realized, by the way, that the Pak-40 is not entirely supposed to be an anti-infantry weapon, but it's still just terrifying as hell to me. Another big kitty to the north.
Oof, that's the second cat that Eugene can get. So that's all his heavy tanks, unless he gets like the Panzer, but it's not
Unlikely.
really a heavy tank. It kind of is, but not so much.
Now, another heavy mortar going to come over here for the Poles, and two more mortars. He's going super... Okay, maybe he's going like cheap Sexton idea.
Yeah, I mean the mortars are like what? They're like 100 points, so it's like a 50-point cheaper, and they do more damage.
Technically, they do more damage, yeah.
They do more damage at the shorter range, so they're good for making like a punch through in an area and just leveling somewhere with big booms and then moving up through. But at the same time, he does risk himself to counter battery, as we can see up north.
Well, listen, in my mind, even more than that, it also plays a much longer gate.
And yeah, Robert really needs to try to make a push sometime soon. He only has like 12 minutes left. Eugene's getting a lot of points, and a 700 point difference isn't like a huge amount, but in C phase, with only 12 minutes left, that's going to be rather hard to catch up to. Her Robert's going to need like a +2 or more to really take the victory at this point. Potentially a +3, really. to be safe.
Well, he's bringing in more tanks finally, and I think I like that play.
Yeah, these tanks are going to work well up north. He's got Sherman's got Firefly, Pack 40's done, so all he has to do is deal with the Tiger and the Pack 40.
Rockets coming in again. He's going for the
Panther
Firefly. Oh, not quite.
Yeah. I mean, those rockets can, they do good stun damage, but not enough to really make, a lasting dent on the Fireflies. Hurricane's coming out a little bit too late. They're rather slow, so good luck catching up to that Messerschmitt.
Yeah, I was going to say, the skies are definitely clearing on up.
Yeah, he's been keeping his Hurricanes in reserve instead of having them out. I'm guessing that's to show to Eugene's AA net.
And I think they are more than aware of that Tiger, because immediately smoke rounds went out to block him off. I think that's probably the best play under the circumstances.
Yep. If you can't shoot me and I can't shoot you, but I don't want you shooting me more than I can shoot you.
Also, I might be wrong here, but I feel like those three P-Grens over here just inside the rubble probably have, like, the worst job, but they're doing a great job just wasting all the Sherman OP ammo.
How are they still alive?
It's been, I think, he literally has not fired anything else. He's fired, like, 500 rounds at them. Okay,
yeah.
They're going to finally go down, I think, soon enough.
Yeah, but damn, they've been... That's a lot of machine gun fire I've been taking. Jeez Louise. But yeah, it's just buying time.
Well, and the Hummel's coming on in. I like, actually, you know what? I like seeing the Hummel.
Yeah,
you don't see it often enough.
That's a really good play, considering that he knows her Roberts is bringing in mortars and whatnot. So that Hummel is just going to counter battery everything to hell and back. Yeah.
Interestingly, take a look at the line of sight. We know that the Germans have a few things over here from Herr Robert, but Yuejin has an awful lot of sight here.
For, like, his units?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm surprised. He knows a lot what's going on. I think you're gonna make the comments. What I'm getting at. Go for it.
But no, I really like seeing the 2-star Hummel. If, honestly, I usually just take the highly vetted Hummels at just 1 2-star. Because at the end of the day, especially in a 1v1, all you really need is 1 Hummel. 2 is too expensive to get, so you might as well just, spend the extra pointed card advantage and just get the 1 2-star. But up north, yeah, Hummel we're going to be firing, and the Tiger's falling back after taking a little bit of hit. And
that's true. He did go and take out all the ammo for that Sherman 5. Oh,
that's a pretty good trade-off, yeah. And then Sherman 5's going to have to fall back to the bed for. And look at Hummel just pound array, trying to get out 4.2-inch mortar. Oh, if he can get that supply unit,
yeah,
that'd be lovely for him.
Just thinking that. You take that out, and there goes the entire Polish attack.
Yeah. But yeah,
he's going for the 17-pounder.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah. But yeah, that's 2-star Hummel. It's not machine gun fire rate, but it's rather respectable. At the same time, Robert, he's making good ground. He's getting kills a Tiger. That's a pretty huge loss here for Eugene. So now he could probably make a pretty good breakthrough if he was to, well, push and break through.
True. I mean, P4 does go down.
Yeah.
Here's my question: do the Germans have enough in terms of anti-tank to stopgap any kind of push?
Yeah, I mean, he's bringing up another Pack 40. He does have the Mortar 3, so he has good defensive units to try and hold this. And I'm thinking actually the Hummel will just be enough to just keep everything at bay with its big-ass rounds. I mean, a lot of the Polish frontline infantry are stunned and forced to fall back. Here comes the Hurricanes. They're going to get intercepted. One goes down.
One more Mustang comes in, though, to defend. Might be able to get it. No, he doesn't really quite do it.
Nope. Is he going to get... No, I don't think it's
the third. Between ground fire and everything like that, he might pick up one. He's not going to get both.
Yeah. But killing both Hurricanes was definitely a big blow to Herr Roberts as priority. He's going to be losing his second rocket plane. No,
did it go down?
AA.
No, he made it out.
AA saves the day, keeping that Mustang at base. So that's a really good trade from Robert in the air. But at the same time, losing that Tiger on the ground definitely hurts him quite a bit for now.
I respectfully disagree on that one, just only because, I mean, as opposed to, disrespectfully, but only because at this point, the Tiger tank is made to reduce fortifications. He doesn't need to do that.
Fair point, just needs to defend, and he does have, like, the defensive units, like the Pack 14 Mortar 3 to hold. And all he needs to do is hold. He doesn't really need to push at his point. Now is really not the time to push, considering he's being pushed. And this Hummel, it's just... I just love watching it shoot, because it just makes a huge explosion. And I like explosions, don't you, Khan?
I definitely do. I also like it when guys know the words. But if they don't know the words, they can always Hummel along. Um, Poles at long last are taking the 50-yard line of that factory, and you know what? I cannot help but feel if Herr Robert, again, hindsight 2020,
Mhm.
if he might have been better served by pushing that factory early.
Yeah. I think the Northern Arterial push with the Cromwell. I mean, he got a few kills, but he didn't manage to actually take much ground. And usually pushing that Northern Canal never, ever, ever works. I've never seen someone in the first 10 minutes, unless it was like against a really bad player, manage to just break through that Northern sector, like across the canal. It's just way too much of a choke point.
Well, how about even more than that, too? He has all of these vehicles, and he's trying to run them into buildings. Again, we talked about before, at least
Yeah.
I think you mentioned more than a couple of times. The southern flank would have been prime for a breakout.
Yeah, if he maybe, got his Fireflies down south and tried to do the breakthrough here, probably could have gotten a little bit better. But at the same time, the Tiger's in a good defensive position. Eugene just managed to set up really good defensive positions past B phase.
Hmm.
And even though he doesn't have, like, the unit numbers against, like, the Polish, like, the Poles have better tank advantage when it comes to just tanks that they can get. They've got Shermans, they've got the Fireflies, etc. And just a lot more numbers per se. But Eugene has really good defensive units, and he's doing a really good job defending in this later game, just really making the Poles pay for it.
It's almost funny. It would be funny if these guys weren't, buying it one by one.
Hmm.
But those Pack 40s, they've been worth their weight in gold. Even
Yeah.
worse, I mean, Herr Robert knows where they are, and he can't get to them without sacrificing something.
Yeah, and all this, both mortars in the middle just got counter batteries by the Hummel, so he can't do anything against the Pack 40s, and he doesn't have air power to really take advantage of. So those Pack 40s just gonna, you know, plop shots like it's 1944.
And 3 armored vehicles go down in the span
Yep.
of about 8 seconds. There's gonna be a tap any second now.
Yep, I mean, but damn, that's a really good defense from Eugene.
Yes,
He
it
he didn't
was.
like do like a crazy ninth Panzer push, which you usually see, but
Mhm.
he held his ground really well, and that was good defensive factory play with the lines of defense. So yeah, that was really good on his part, and I gave 800 kill difference, so nothing really too crazy here, rather standard.
Well, there was one spate of time, 32 to about 33 and a half minutes.
Oof.
A lot of Polish stuff went down, and
Yeah.
right at the end, a bunch more.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I kind of feel like had the Tiger not gone down, that gap would have seen a lot more impressive, you know?
Yeah, if that Tiger was still alive, he definitely would be able to make as much of a breakthrough as he could have.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he just let Eugene set up too much of a good defensive position in the factory,
Mm-hmm.
and then once he tried to push it later game, he just could not break through. He lost the air game initiative. He lost the artillery initiative. I think maybe Saxons would have been a better play, especially if that Hummel on the field. But once again,
Or earlier
or-
mortars would have been just as good too.
yeah, like he sort of focused more on the factory, Robert in this case, instead of doing that northern canal push. But looking in kills and losses, nothing really too crazy. I mean,
No.
Eugene's like all pretty well spread out, which is nice, and same thing for her Robert. Nothing too nutty.
Which is totally fine. Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? That just means everyone's being a team player.
Everyone's contributing. There's no I in team.
There is me, but that's out of spelling, and it's kind
Yeah.
of dyslexic, so let's not worry about that.
But yeah,
All right, so I think we come back later this week with I want to say Asia Vets, isn't that right?
yes.
Alrighty, so folks, we will see you later this week with Asia, I guess S group.
Yeah.
So folks, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.